Mine sveinar heime ved og gjøy med det gulleballe, de andre seks på Heidingland og gjøy med det Jan I Kalle. Vi det ut av Franklande med dyre.
All right, hello everybody, boys and girls from the interwebs. This is GMBO from Blades and Blasters, and we are back again after a very long break with Paladin Warriors of Charlemagne. I doubt anybody has watched this far, but if you have, we're on chapter 19, rolling into the year winter 75, spring of 76. And where we left off, we had just concluded the siege of Pavia in northern Italy, and here's our introduction. Introduction, chapter 29. And so it was that King Charlemagne, after Pavia fell, was dubbed Rex Lumbardorum, and from that time onwards was to be called King of the Franks and Lombards. But Charles, as he would become to be known, would not rest. Nay, in the winter of 775 and 76, there were rumors of rebellion in eastern Italy, and of a new Saxon war chief, Widukind, terrorizing the Frankish frontier along the Rhine. During this time, it seems, the future emperor was getting his first taste at managing his new sprawling empire. As the sun thawed upon the southern slopes of the Italian Alps, Charlemagne and his council made plans to send a forward army to the Saxony border, while rumors of a traitor's return, a former duke named Adalgise the Exile, was investigated in eastern Italy. But first, our player knights spend the winter in Italy. Do they travel south to visit Rome, or do they take in the wintry sights of the Alps with their amore? Or do they simply brood and prepare for war in Saxony against blood-sworn enemies, or upstart rebel dukes in the eastern Italian territories of Friuli, Benevento, and Spoleto?
Luigi!
And we will start with winter phase and like some high-level RP on the winter of 775 and 776. All right, let me open up my PDF, because I always forget the steps of winter phase.
Step 1. Aging. Solo scenario, if applicable, which it is not.
What chapter is that?
Chapter 10, page 173.
Chapter 10. There's so many bookmarks on this thing. It's hard to use the table of contents.
Yeah, it's aging, but none of us are old. Oh, not old enough,
Nope.
I don't think.
No olding? No aging?
Nope, I am 25 in 775.
I'm 29.
Oh, you have to be almost 30.
I'm 29.
Mm-mm.
No, he was younger
29.
than us all.
Next year.
I was
Next
born,
year.
yeah. He's going to start aging. Those old farts. I was the young lad.
I would like to get the second winter session this session, so it'd be nice. You'll have to roll aging. Hope you don't die.
Renee dies
All right,
old age at 30.
aging. Economic circumstances. Fife management.
First thing we need to know is if it's a normal year, a hardship year, or a boon.
It is a normal year.
So it's 6 times your manners, yeah?
Well, you got to roll first. You got to roll. Either have your steward
Your
roll.
Steward, yep, or yourself stewardship.
Yeah. Entourage, yeah. Steward. Stewardship. Okay. Fail.
I'm going to roll mine 16 for stewardship. I'll go ahead and just roll off my sheet. That's a crit. So critical success times 1.5.
Mine's a failure, so 3/4.
Yep, you get 3/4. How many manners do you have?
I have 5.
I have 6.
So
Last
5
I
times, that'd be 25 Libra, so you get 0.75 times 25, right?
No, you just get 25. That is 3/4. Normal 6.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see it. So you get 25, and he'll get what? 36?
And I'll get 54.
What?
It's 6.
Oh, crit?
It's 6
Crit.
Libra. Yeah, it's 6 Libra
God.
per manor. And I rolled a crit, so that's times 1.5. So it becomes 9 per manor, and I have 6 manors.
So what are you doing in northern Italy during the winter, and when you hear word that your steward has done a good job this year?
As Samson receives word that his steward has done wonders, if memory serves, that is Joseph the Jew, that turned a standard fare into one of great bounty. He boasts to his friends, "Oh, as you see, not only am I a leader in the battlefield, but my steward is a leader of coin and making it, and the riches are one to be amazed by. I think if this does not see the deal with Chael Frith, I do not know what will."
Why don't you give me a commoner's roll there?
Commoners, all right.
Let's see if back home you guys, your steward and everybody shared the bounty, or if they're starting to resent you.
All right, commoners, attitudes, here we go.
There you go.
And in the letter that was read to me by the chaplain, because reading is not one for a knight such as myself, it is said he shared the bounty with the commoners, as it was their backs that were the ones toiling in the sun. So do they not deserve some of the reward?
Yes, give yourself a check in commoners.
We subtract 1 Libra for the steward. Is that right?
1 per yes, one
manor?
per no, not 1 per manor, 1 per retinue. So I have a engineer and a steward, so I subtract 2 Libra.
Yeah.
And do you have a steward?
I just have a steward, yeah.
Okay. So you failed yours. Why do you think you failed? What happened?
Boy, I would say that the steward actually usually gets a lot of assistance from the women of the house, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there are none anymore. His former wife, I can't even remember her name. What was her name?
How dare you? I'll tell you in a minute. It's not Gislinda.
No, not Gislinda.
I'll tell you who it is. It's
Begins with an
Ermeline.
E, doesn't it?
Yeah, I got it right here.
Ermeline.
Ermeline.
Yeah.
And then his I'm gonna have to bring up my family tree already. And his longtime companion, they had done a lot of helping the steward around the manors and whatnot, and neither of them are alive any longer, so the steward's all by himself, and Renee is not one to be home and any of his manors and see to any of that. And so while he's gone, it's kind of been a rough harvest, and he doesn't pull in as much Libra as he should have.
Okay, you don't have any checks and anything in attitudes for this time around, so let's see here. Okay, yeah. So, your lord might be a little bit miffed that the taxes aren't coming in like they should be. Your contributions aren't to the to your duke's coffer. Duke Terry, I think, is your guy.
Yes.
And so roll Lord.
Nope.
He's a little upset.
Gee.
So it never gets to Terry himself, but his court sends a messenger, and chastises you a little bit about your choice in women has rubbed off and resulted in a curse from the Lord. Let's just hope this only lasts 1 year, and that you rectify yourself within the sight of the god.
Oh, he ignores it all. He doesn't much care. Yes, but if you say so, next year I'm sure the bounty will be plentiful. And he's in Italy. He hasn't went home for the winter, so someone came down to tell him how the stewards were doing and how his affairs were doing at home, and he seems not very perturbed about it.
Let's see. Actually, you should have had a +5 to your roll.
Who?
Me?
Tet.
I
Yep.
think I still would have
If you're at it, if you're at it, stewardship
I would've-
modifiers to your attitude retinue is 16 or over. You would get a +5.
Oh, then I would have succeeded.
You still would have got a 18, and your threshold would have been 17, right? Or 16.
I would have got a +5 to the 13.
Oh, that's Lord. That's Lord. I'm sorry.
Because my steward's 13.
So you would have succeeded.
Yeah.
You want to change that then? Okay.
Sure.
At the last minute, more taxes roll in, and Terry's like, "I take that back."
He took the letter more seriously and came back and sent some booty from Lombardy.
There you
go. Yeah, there you go. Looks like you also get a bonus for what phase you're in. I think, are we in phase 1 or 0?
We're in phase 1. Actually, you know what? As we
are.
sit and look at this, I didn't get a crit success because I rolled a 16. It's +1 because it's phase 1, so that brings the roll up to 17. And then I have standing
the target,
the threshold. Excuse me. So it goes up to 17 for the target. And then I have +5 for standing retinue because it's 16 or greater. So that takes it to 22.
I don't think we've ever been using those modifiers. I think we've overlooked that.
But you didn't roll an 18, did you? No.
I did not. I rolled a 16. So I just got a normal success. So only 36.
The auditor visited you.
Yeah. You were hiding some taxes.
That's all right. As we know, I live the superlative lifestyle, so even if it was not that much, he still is going to act like it was.
All right, maintenance. Your superlative?
Yes, sir. -13 livra, +13 glory.
Ordinary.
Can you afford it?
I'll have to roll.
Your income's between 6 and 8 for sure. It's higher than that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Minimum income. Yeah. You have to roll, right?
Well, if you can afford, you get what you can afford. But if you want to go lower, then you have to roll frugal, I think.
It's if you have the money to live at a higher grade, you have to roll temperate.
Right.
On a failure, you must roll indulgent. And if you succeed the indulgent roll, you must increase your maintenance.
Yeah. Hold on.
And if, on the other hand, a knight with sufficient money who wishes to lower his maintenance level must first fail an indulgent and then succeed a temperate.
Yeah, I could do superlative, obviously, but I'm gonna try to do ordinary. Actually, I'll try to do rich. This time.
So temperate. So roll temperate.
Nope. Nope,
you
nope, nope.
on a failure?
On a failure, you must
You
roll
must roll
indulgent.
indulgent.
And then if you succeed your indulgent roll, you
You must
must.
increase your.
No.
Nope.
Not.
So I'll do rich.
So you can do rich. You get some bonuses for rich. That's good.
Yeah.
All right, that's that part. Survival.
So how much do we subtract the 12? How much should I subtract from my income?
So for
So-
rich, you would subtract
9?
between 9 and 12. I mean, it's really up to you.
Let's do 10.
So then you would get 10 plus glory.
I see. Okay.
Now our children.
Survival for the children.
Yeah.
And you get +1 for child survival. We're-
I've opened up my family echo.
Were any of them ill from last year? Or did you
know
survive
what?
that?
Wow. Man, I don't
think
remember.
Maybe, but I'm pretty sure I put it in here. Hold on. I have so many of them. Flocinda.
See, that's why I only have 4 kids.
No, it doesn't say any of them were. Maybe they were healed by Jesus. I don't know.
You dunked them in the water.
Yeah.
It might have been the previous.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that. All right, I'll go through these.
You wanna go
What
first
year?
since
What
you have
year
them?
is it? What year is it?
It's 775, 776.
So this person is 3 years old. This is Rosfind.
Modifier +1.
Oh,
Plus you get another
shit.
+1.
Okay, 18. +2, yeah. So
Healthy.
Healthy. Okay.
Mhm.
Next one is Helinda. They are a bit older. Said 74, so they're 6.
You'll get, yeah.
But
But you get your bonuses.
I have
It's
2
a good thing you took
bonuses.
rich, dude.
Yeah.
Would have died.
How old were you
No,
kids?
she's 6.
That was-
This one's 6.
That was 6.
Okay, so
Right.
yeah, +1 to the age and +1 for rich. You lucky bastard.
Well, they would have just been
No, 6.
illness.
6 you get nothing for the 8. Child 3 to 14 +1. Yeah. Okay, so it'd be 3. So you'd be fine.
It was just a girl. Ida, she's 5. Okay, that's fine.
Healthy.
Filbert is also 5. I think he's a twin.
I mean, none of your kids,
What
if
the
they're above
hell?
the age of 3, can die.
What's
Just so you
going wrong
know.
with my keyboard?
Yeah. Don't if there's no way you can get either death or illness.
Okay. 71. So they're 3.
I'm going to roll for
No.
my youngest kid, who's 1.
I don't think I have anybody that young. 72.
All right. My youngest is 5.
So you're good.
No, they're all too old.
Do you guys have to roll any more because everybody's going to be healthy?
Nope,
Yeah,
we're
I don't-
good.
I don't think so.
Unless you want us to roll for horses.
Not really.
Yeah.
All right. Personal event.
I'll go. 13.
Love Charlemagne.
Mm. Get a love Charlemagne roll.
There you go. Success. Anonymous. Mrs. Dominicus overheard you when you praised your sovereign. You gained a check in love Charlemagne. Did you already have it?
I did. That's all right.
Attitude Lord. Success.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, roll on birth gift table to see
That's
what
how
that
I
is.
got my reinforced chain.
Let's see here. Where is that table?
Way in the beginning.
Yeah, I'll look at the table of contents. Has a list of tables here. Let's see.
It's page 29. Go ahead and roll 20. I'll tell you. Wait, nope, that's not it. Sorry.
Birth gift table. Distinctive features. Starting outfits. Birth gifts. Yeah, just roll a d20. It's on page 39. 14. Extra charger.
Boo. Okay.
Give yourself an extra charger, horse.
Okay. I shall.
Okay. Put it down with personal events. Personal events. Family. Marriage. You guys do want to do that or no?
Mr. Samson is going to try and get Jailfrit to get married down in Rome.
I mean, Renee is gonna look for maybe a Italian noble lady. He's getting a little bored without women.
Okay.
But as far as rolling, no, I don't think so.
You going to roll there?
I wasn't planning on it unless you.
This Samson?
Oh, he can't. I assumed I had to do the RP for Jailfrit.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll do that. Childbirth. You guys have anybody pregnant?
No.
Nope.
For once, I don't.
Family event. Give me a d20.
For imprisoned.
Imprisoned. Someone was kidnapped for a forced marriage or captured for a ransom.
Your sister got kidnapped again.
Yeah.
Roll a d20 for family member.
13.
Distant cousin.
Yeah, I mean, too bad, too
That's
sad, I
nothing.
guess. I'm in Italy. I can't do anything about it.
Why don't you give me family roll?
Okay.
Got it. Give yourself a check in family.
Okay.
Tell me like how you wrote a letter or something, like get them released or
I
maybe a
didn't
stay of
write a
execution.
letter, but so it's one of his distant female cousins, and she was actually captured by some Saxons up the ones that are raiding currently, and he convinced his I guess his brother Actard to return to Ardans. Is that the county we're in?
Ardon, yep.
And he went up to Saxony with a force of his lineage men and such, and they brokered a ransom for her return.
Got it. This is her app.
Oh, baby.
Hey, man.
Just make a note of that. Might be marrying your cousin at
Cousin
some point.
Mary.
Distant cousin. It's fine.
Let's see what her name is.
I'll put her on my family echo. She would be
Your new bed warmer.
Do you want
yeah.
Celeste?
Oh, she sounds like a slew.
Stripper name.
Like this?
The E has an accent on it, but yeah. It's the E at the end. Yes, yeah. All right, you got a 3. Glorious deed for Samson. Someone accomplished a heroic deed like saving Lord during a near-fatal hunting encounter with a boar. All family members gain 5 glory. That's good. You get 5 glory.
All right. Baldwin,
roll
Samson. Oh, you want me to roll? I can just make
No. If you got something good, go ahead for it.
Baldwin, the younger brother of Samson, is left in charge of Castle Bouillon and the construction of their current castle, yet to be named. During this time period, as part of the intensification of border skirmishes with Saxons, there was a Saxon raid deep into the county of Arlone, where Baldwin led a relief force against the Count's holdings, driving them back and winning a personal duel against the chieftain.
Very nice. 5 glory to you too. I guess you're part of the family.
Part of the family.
Part of the fam.
You got any good-looking cousins you want to marry to my hero brother?
Yeah, I do, actually.
Yeah. Celeste.
That's right.
I might have to keep her for my own, though.
Chase City coming up for Celeste.
See, she's right in the middle. That's perfect.
Perfect. She plays a little hard to get, but then she has needs.
Reverse cowgirl all day.
Now experience. So on to the good part. D20 for each experience check. Equal or greater. You get to add 1.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's start her off. I'll start with personality. Got selfish checked. No dice.
Well, yeah, we have to get above it, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Just do all yours, and then I'll do...
All right, I got merciful and cruel, and that's it. So here's merciful. +1, but I'll roll cruel too first before determining. And I failed cruel, so +1 merciful. -1 cruel.
Alright, I have lustful. Nope. I have vengeful. Nope. Indulgent. Yes. That makes some sense. Alright, that's it for personalities.
Passions. I have Charlemagne, honor, and God, so I'll just do them in order. Nope. Yep.
Oh, wow.
And love God.
I got no passions.
Attitudes. Lord and commoners. Ooh, so close. Yay.
I got family. Yes.
That's a good one.
Okay.
Good job, Dom.
Retinue, your body, your squire, and all your specialist personnel, so your stewards and stuff like that, get checks for all their listed skills. You get the roll from them.
All right, I'll roll for them. I have, let's see, 16 and 11 for energetic. So let's do stewardship first.
You're talking about your skills?
This is for
No, steward.
This is Joseph the Jew,
okay.
my steward.
Any of your retainers.
So no on stewardship, and then energetic. Not that it matters.
Stewardship. Oh my god. Energetic.
Skips energetic.
My guy is
Yeah.
a terrible
Man.
steward.
And here is my engineer, Harold of Arlone.
You hired
siege.
Denitho there, Tet.
Yeah.
It's a 14 for siege.
Tet's steward just lays around depressed all
whoops.
day.
Yeah.
Go and die what way seems best to
Ooh.
you. Oh, there you go.
+1 siege.
I don't even know if you'll use him for siege. Aren't you pretty good at siege or no?
No,
Just
I'm
battle?
not. I'm good at battle, so I hired an engineer to help me with siege.
That's good.
Set my limitations.
All right, that's good. Training and practice now.
Skills.
Yeah, we gotta do skills first.
Oh, yeah, your skills, yeah.
First aid. I'll do common first, and I'll let you do them. First aid. Nope.
Oh,
Horsemanship. Nope. Hunting. Yes.
Not all of them.
That's it.
Nope. Nope. Yes.
Look at that recognize.
Yeah. Hot. I think that's all my common.
All right, my courtly, I have eloquence, heraldry, intrigue, and play the lute.
Fuck, I have
Man.
no intrigue. Or courtly, I mean.
the system kind of like encourages like more rolls during the actual sessions because otherwise you won't have anything to improve. How'd you make a heraldry check?
Because I'm amazing, because I had a huge bonus. I think he gave me a bonus for it. And look at me play that lute.
I got no courtly. I'll just do...
No courtlies?
I'll do combat real quick. Dagger.
Yep, I only have 3 combat.
Spear. Nope. That's it.
All right, I got battle, sword, and lance. Nope. Yes.
Nice.
Whoa, that's good.
That was easy enough.
You'd rather fight with that sword.
That's right. That's all on the rolls.
That's it. I think that's it.
all for me too.
Now training and practice. Changing attribute, passion.
Decisions.
Yeah.
So, traits passion average cannot be increased over 15. Attributes cannot be raised over 20 by this method. Size can't go after 21. You guys are done with that. No attributes may increase after age 30.
I'm just gonna raise my con.
I'm going to. Let me check something here.
This is your last time to do an attribute, so you might as well do that.
Oh, you can't do it after 30?
Nope.
Okay.
I think... Ooh.
Well, after 30, you're 29, so you could do it next year too.
You can raise size though with glory, correct?
If you get,
I think
you can if you get the.
I do
that's
qualify. I do qualify. I just haven't done it yet. So I think I'm going to raise.
He just keeps growing. He just keeps growing.
I know. I keep getting yoked. I'm going to raise my con by 1 for my training and practice, and then my glory, because I got into the 5,000 band. I'm going to raise my size by 1.
Yeah, I got in the 5,000 band too. What else can we raise?
Well, you raise your con, right?
I did for normal, but then my glory's over 5,000 as well.
Glory bonus. Attribute, trait, passion, attitude, skill by 1 point. No restrictions apply.
All right, I'll probably do size too then.
It makes sense. You guys are getting more money. You're probably going to be able to eat better.
That's right.
Better accommodations. Just getting more and more jacked. That's it.
That's it.
No, we got to calculate our glory.
Oh, the last thing done winter phase, add any glory bonus points to your character score. Bonus score.
So that would be anything above 16, yeah?
Oh shit. I might get into the 6,000 range with bonus glory.
Because manor
Annual glory. So holding a manor gains 6 glory per year. And being an ideal knight gain, you guys aren't that.
No.
Glory. A glory for passion or traits over 16 should be calculated. See passive glory. I think it's just equal to the rank, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So I have 116, I have 32. Let's see. 8.
Did you say that includes personality and passions?
I
And
think it includes
attitudes?
I think it says, yes, glory for passion or traits. Passions or traits over 16.
And skills, correct?
No,
No.
No one
just
skills. I thought it
passions or
was.
traits.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
I think we've been doing it as skills. I thought 32. Okay.
It says passive glory for statistics over 15 should be calculated.
Where does that say that?
So in the winter phase, page 181, compute glory, annual glory. Passive glory for statistics over 15 should be calculated. See the passive glory section in chapter 4 for more information. So
I think I have a different version of the PDF than you. Have we argued about this before? Because mine says this. This is what mine says. Copy.
Well, I'm guessing he's looking at the hardcover, right?
Yeah, I got the
Because
hardbound.
we all have the same PDF, I'm pretty sure.
The hardcover trumps PDF, in my opinion.
So noble statistics, a statistic which is an attribute, skill, trait, passion, or attitude with a value greater than 15 is notable and gains you glory every year equal to its value. As the statistic increases, so too does the passive glory gained for it.
That's just a difference in typo. That's just difference in text between the two versions. Tet will probably have some of that going on in his game.
Never.
So
All right.
it includes...
You guys are about ready to die anyway. Glory away.
So I guess we start with attributes because that is 1. So I get 21 for sight, 17 for con. What's next? 16 for reckless. Yeah, it does include traits.
It does include attributes too, yeah?
Yeah, that's what I started with. So 16 for reckless, 18 for valorous, 18 for honor,
I'm still not going to get to
19 for lord, 16 for retinue. Now we'll go over to skills. 20 for battle, 17 for sword. So 162 from those notable statistics.
I've never seen that GIF. That GIF is great.
All right, you're up, Renier.
I'm
And then we got to calculate.
No,
Did you pass?
I
Did you pass another 1,000? Did you go past another 1,000, Samson?
I got to calculate my castle.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not. I'm 5,100 and something.
I always ask this: what's the defensive value of the castle I hold currently? I think it's 28 or something like that.
What's it listed as? Like what type of castle?
You have it written down. It's Castle Bouillon that we captured. You would think I'd have this written down somewhere.
Search. How do you spell bouillon?
B-O-U, I think I-L-L-O-N.
I'll tell you right now. Chateau Thierry. DV. Just gonna search my Evernote for DV. Fortress. It's not a fortress. It's not going to be 32 and 19. There's no way it's that big.
I thought it was like 14 or 16 or something.
I thought it was in the 20s. So we all don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, here, Carisbrook. Here we go. It used to be Herbomont, same as that one, right?
Oh, Herbamont. Yep, you're right. Bullion is the guy I'm going to marry my sister to. So it is Castle Herbamont.
So it's 16/10, so it's a total of 26.
26.
Double ditch, moat, curtain wall, gate tower, stronghold, or square keep.
Let's break out the old calculator, see where I end up.
This is some old school grognard gaming here.
Right. 237, that'll put me into 6,000.
You get to raise something else?
Mm-hmm.
Size, get jacked.
Tank! The tank!
You've been lifting
Samson.
this winter?
So yeah, it puts me at 6,087. So let me change that. Yeah, we're
Go
doing
for it.
another
Yeah,
size.
You're
Dude,
joke,
it's so
man.
big. She don't even know.
Like those girls, like they don't care about their face. They just want like the big fucking muscle-bound dude.
I definitely don't like his face.
And
What is your
she's
app?
probably the type of girl. We've all met these. Like they try to goad you, and they try to goad you into fights. You know, they like to see it.
My app is 14, thank you very much.
How's that
That's
possible?
above average. What's yours, Renier?
I'm only 11.
Yeah, fuck you, bitch. What's up?
It
He's
must.
pulling princesses.
Yeah, I just get the hose.
Well, I think I got an Italian honey and laying in wait.
You sleep
done?
in, you sleep
are
in
we
the
done
staple, you
yet?
get fleas, Ted. Just remember that.
Are we done yet?
Yeah, I'm
Yes,
done,
we're
yeah.
done.
All right. So I'll set the scene here. Let me move over to some more AI-generated art. It's amazing. I've typed Charlemagne's army marching in northern Italy. This is what it gave me. It's not that bad. As the snows melt in the southern slopes of the Alps, February comes and early March comes, and we find ourselves on the move. We've left Pavia, where we've wintered, where you and your entourages have wintered and enjoyed yourself and enjoyed the finest of Italian wines, and maybe even had some time in the early spring to make it out into the countryside. But alas, rumors of rebellion are in the air. There's rumors of a gentleman that was loyal to Lombardy long ago and made enemies of Charlemagne and was exiled. His name was Adalgise, and there's rumors that he has returned from Constantinople. And rumors are that during the winter he has been a worm tongue in the ear of the dukes of the territories of Friuli and Benevento and Spoleto, all in eastern Italy. And there's also rumors that they have allied with the southern Byzantines of Italy in order to throw off the yoke of the burgeoning Frankish Empire. Unfortunately, at this same time, there are rumors, like I said in the introduction, of a Saxon war chief by the name of Widukind, who's conducted many raids across the Rhine in Saxony. And not only have they taken prisoners, but they are crucifying them all along the Rhine, causing terror among the frontier. King Charlemagne has sent messengers to eastern Italy and up along the Rhine into Francia, and he's sending one forward army through northern Italy up along the west bank of the Rhine in order to engage with you kind in his pagan war chiefs, while at the same time himself, for the time being, rides with second part of the army, headed by Duke Bernard to eastern Italy. And at this point in the story, they're all kind of like just east of Pavia, kind of heading towards Friuli. It's kind of like in northern, if you think of Italy, kind of the northeast part. And then basically, if they would turn left, one army would kind of go up towards the Rhine, the other one would head towards Friuli in northern Italy. And so you find yourselves and your entourage marching in the army, just a giant long column stretching over a mile. And I'll let you guys take the role play away.
Renee is riding alongside Samson, planning to stay in Italy with Charlemagne and to destroy the traitor with the armies of Duke Bernard. He has been a bit morose, as he has tended to be over the last few years in Italy here. He seems to he was very upset with William and Samson with their behavior with the King of Lombard trying to execute him, even though they were not supposed to do such a thing. And so he's been pretty cool with Samson and William for a while. Did William head back home? Like, what's his situation, I guess?
Oh, he's with you. I'll say he's with you.
Yeah, so Renee is just kind of just riding along with Samson there and says, "Do you plan to go north with Duke Terry to kill the Saxons, I assume?"
Yes, of course, I will go north. My love for the Lord is not to be seconded for any man, and these pagans must pay for their actions along the Rhine. Have you heard the rumors? Crucifying us, as in a mockery of our own God. Well, they will meet the wrath of our Lord. They will meet it soon. What do I have to fear, with Samson by my side here?
As Samson listens, "Ah, yes, my friend, I will be heading to face the Saxon scum and will, in kind, crucify 5 Saxons for every 1 Christian that was killed by their disgusting hands. I know my brother successfully repelled a raid last winter, and now that the snows are melting, I actually look forward to marching north and taking on these heathens. What say you, Renee, or what do you plan to do?"
Yeah, I plan to stay here in Italy with the king and take care of this traitor closer at hand.
Are you sure you want to do that? It seems when the 3 of us are together, anything can happen. Is that not right?
Anything can happen, you're correct. But perhaps we should use our skills and spread them out a bit, if you see what I'm saying.
Samson kind of turns to William. "I do not know if this is a good idea, but I cannot force you to come with us if you think it is better to stay in Italy. I cannot blame you, my friend. It seems I have grown twice in size since we have been south of the Alps."
There is good food here, the pasta.
Yes, I can say it was good to be in Italy again after being here what seems like a lifetime ago when we were squires, defeating the Saracens and their imposter pope.
Yes, well, I do wish you good travels across the Alps. I do not think that is my favorite thing. That is quite a journey. to head back and forth between Italy and home.
That is true, but if you have the right woman to warm your pavilion at night, who is to say if it is cold or not outside, if it's warm in there? You know more than anyone, eh?
He just kind of grunts a bit. Yeah, perhaps. I have not seen a woman for quite some time, at least close enough for my liking.
Perhaps with so many Lombard knights slain, there will be an eligible widow, young and perhaps still chaste, waiting for a strong Frankish knight to sweep her off her feet and into a castle, no?
Perhaps. What about you, William? Have you seen Gislinda lately?
Yes, yes. She is yonder, and he kind of turns his head to the right and gestures with his right hand back across his horse. And there's the ladies are kind of probably 20 yards back in a train of their own, followed by a bunch of wagons.
Yeah. Renee immediately kind of goes, ugh. He doesn't say anything,
What?
but he grumbles.
What do you groan, my friend? I have spent many nights attempting to write poetry to Gislinda. The long journey north along the Rhine will be just the opportunity I need to ask for her hand in marriage.
My friend, you need to use those fingers for something else, not poetry.
You are too brash.
Brash is...
Your English amour will not appreciate such language.
Do not pretend to know what this English lady wants. It seems if she was so off-put by me, she would be gone by now or stayed in Italy, perhaps even Rome. But as you can tell, she still rides with my baggage train.
Either way, Renee, it is you who need the blessing of the Lord upon you. You are without a wife, and when you are without a wife, Renee, Legree, well, that is a recipe for mischief. And he raises his hands up towards the sky and says, O Lord in heaven, blessed be my friend Renier. May his loins be soothed by a chaste woman here in northern Italy, for he knows not what he does. And if he tarries too long in this land, perhaps he could father a bastard or two, which would of course be ungodly.
Are you saying my children are ungodly?
Oh, that is some point of view, Renier. Ask your sister, the one at the nunnery.
I do not speak to her. I have 6 natural children. They all are worth praise and love by God. Perhaps I will even ask the king to legitimize them, since I do not have a male heir with my former wife.
Give your roll love God.
Me? Oh, man.
Yeah.
You can do it!
Love God. Hold on.
William's prayer to give you fortune in all things romance falls upon the deaf ears of the god, and he does not bestow his blessing upon you.
Yes.
So go ahead.
No.
No, go ahead.
Good, Bo.
As the days roll by, you guys continue your way east through Italy, and eventually Gislinda and William and Duke Thierry and Samson and Ceolfrith and the others make their way to the north and depart, leaving the main host with King Charlemagne and Duke Bernard and Renier behind, as you get closer and closer towards Friuli, which is the westernmost territory that's rumored to be rebelling. And so we're going to go ahead and I'm gonna move your token so you can see Samson, but we're going to split the party just briefly. So Renee, you're upon the road, 1 day's march west of Friuli, when you hear the sounds of horses. You're kind of towards the front of the army in the vanguard, and the scouts report saying that uh, not a force, but a small contingent of riders is headed in your direction. They do not seem to be heavily armed, and it seems to be a mixture of lords and ladies, along with some wagons. And King Charlemagne sends you and Duke Bernard kind of ahead to meet them. And you're kind of just riding along with the Duke at this point. And you see kind of up around the bend, coming through blossoming trees in the early spring, your horse kind of going through a 1-inch layer of mud. You see a couple dozen horses kind of come around the bend. As you do so, you see that looks to be a lady kind of in the front of it. She has brown hair as she kind of approaches. And this other token's just here for story purposes. He's actually not here. And they kind of hold up their hand and kind of stop you. Hello, who goes there?
Renee looks to the Duke as he would be the ranking member of their retinue. He has his chainmail on as he is marching with the army. He has a spear across his back. He sits in the saddle, but almost haphazardly as he watches these Italians, who he assumes are Italians at the very least, approach.
Mm-hmm. As they approach, there look to be several pages kind of in front, but the person in charge oddly seems to be a woman. And she comes to you, and she has a blue kind of silken shroud on, and as she gets close, she kind of pulls back her hood, and she's strikingly beautiful. The Duke Bernard kind of says, "Well met! Do you not know that there are rebels about? This is a dangerous road to travel." And Elena Vietti is her name. You do not know that yet, but she says, "I fear no rebels in this region. They will do me no harm. For it is my uncle they fight for. They would not harm a hair on my head. For myself and my retinue, we flee to the west. We will not support this upstart rebel. He stands no chance against the Frankish king, who is rumored to be now making his way to the east. You would not know of such things, would you?" She raises her gaze, and I would imagine an army that size would raise quite a clatter, and probably she could see dust for a mile around of you guys coming that way.
Renee just says, "Yes, my lady, we are his retinue, come to bid you greeting. We did not know who you were, if you were coming to parley or you seeking sanctuary from our king, then we would certainly give it to you as loyal subjects of King Charlemagne."
Ah, King Charlemagne. Then you are indeed with his vanguard, no?
Oui.
Well then, I come not seeking sanctuary, but rather allies, while my uncle has found it fit to ally himself with the savage who spent so many years in Constantinople and has struck an unholy deal with the Byzantines of southern Italy. Myself? Well, for me and my family, we serve the Lord, and we serve our new Frankish masters, King Charlemagne. Is it true that he comes hither?
Yes, he's quite close. The Duke and I are simply here to make ourselves known and to make sure that you were, as I said, well, and if you were someone that we needed to speak to.
No. I would very much like to meet the king, she says. I have something I think you would like to see. And she hands out a scroll. The Duke kind of takes it and unfurls the scroll, and from his horse he reads it. A gentle breeze blowing his blonde hair in the wind. He nods to Elena. The king will be most interested to hear this news. This presents an opportunity, Renier. And he kind of hands you the letter to read.
Yeah, he takes the letter and rolls it back up and sticks it in his belt since he can't read.
Well, here's a Duke Bernard read.
Okay.
Dear brother, this was a letter written from Rotgard Vietti, who is Elena's uncle to Elena's father, who she goes on to say that she thinks that Rotgard had murdered because he was loyal to their new Frankish masters and not the rebels. Dear brother, it has come to mine ears that the sweet songs of Charles of the Franks have laid a spell upon thee. Know that this northern king seeks only to dominate us and to replace our own way of life with that of the northern savages. We now have an ally in Adalgis, who has returned from exile in Constantinople, and in our new Byzantine allies to the south. Stand up now to Charlemagne and his unholy alliance with the illegitimate pope. Spelling errors here. Maybe this guy is not very lettered. And join us as we rise for the cause of freedom for all northern Italy. Neglect this warning, dear brother, and perish. And there's like a little bit of blood on the letter. Probably Elena's father, as he was murdered. And so you kind of escort her to the king. And over the course of an hour or so, he kind of disappears into council with her, and then emerges from his tent and addresses the Duke and Renier. Well now, he says, it seems that a chink in the already thin armor of the Italian rebels has made itself clear.
Yeah, Renee simply, he nods. We, my lord, we will do what we can to destroy this rebellion, and if we have allies here, only for the better.
Charlemagne looks at Elena, then back at Renier, and then you guys have probably sheltered near like one of these villages along this little stream here, like in the art. And Charlemagne kind of sighs. In our march across the Alps, our fight against Ogier the Dane, we have slain the Lombard king, we have slain Ogier. How many hundreds, if not thousands, have died? This region is indeed beautiful, Bernard, Renier. If this rebellion could be solved without further bloodshed, we would gain both the loyalty of the people and also save the lives of Frankish men.
It does seem that we may need them for the fight to our north with our long rivals, the Saxons, my king. I would agree
Indeed.
that if we could solve this without bloodshed, then it would be beneficial for our armies to march as one.
King Charlemagne kind of nods, and he goes to Elena and kind of holds her hand. Elena Vietti, my dear dame, I will say a prayer this evening for the loss of your father, for he was surely a man who loved God and knew his true king, myself, King Charles of the Franks. It is too bad that he shed his blood, but you will know that he will be avenged. This is Renier de Gris and Duke Bernard of Brabant. Both are good men and loyal. If you fear that no harm will come upon your head, please extend that to theirs. We will send them as an emissary to the court of Rotgud in Friuli. If this cannot be solved by courtly matters or by treachery, then we always have the threat of arms. but I would rather prevent any further bloodshed, for this country is beautiful, and it belongs in my burgeoning empire. And she, of course, consents to that, and unless Renier and Brabant or Bernard kind of protest. The three of them, probably along with their entourage, will be sent as a emissary to Friuli in order to treat with Rotka and try to come up with some solution to this.
Yeah, we can do it.
This quandary.
Yeah, Renee is happy to do so.
In the meantime, find your girl here. Len Williams with you.
2 quick questions. Number 1, did I manage to convince Chaelfrith to get married while we were in Italy?
It's up to you.
I say yes. That was his plan.
Oh, I'd love to roleplay that, but yes.
We can go back and do that later. Flashback. We can do a flashback.
I think with your size.
Look how big your
she's a
token
size-
is. Jeez.
Yeah, my token is huge compared to everybody's.
She's a size queen.
That's right.
Yeah, so she's with you.
During
So you're a couple days march north now of Friuli, kind of like approaching the Rhine, and you're with the Duke in the forward army, while Renier is kind of still marching towards Friuli. Go ahead.
I'll do a quick recap of that just off the top. During the winter months, Chaelfrith and Samson had grown closer as they had slowly been forming the beginnings of a relationship while she stayed in Francia at the request of the King of Wessex. And as their fondness for each other grew, an opportunity had presented itself after the victory over the King of the Lombards. They had gone down to Rome as part of a forward party to pay tribute to the Pope and all of the holy sites within Rome. And during their time there, Samson had convinced Chaelfrith to wed, having a high-ranking official within the church wed them, an honor that very few ever experience. And while Samson did assume that the King of Wessex might be somewhat cross with this wedding without his explicit consent, that was a chance he was willing to take. Now on the road marching north, he has not only a new wife to fight for, but his soon-to-be legitimate children, if the God is good.
You know, make their little pregnancy roll or whatever.
So I can kill her? Yeah, sure. I think it's +2.
Don't roll a 1. What did...
Shut
How
up!
old is she? That's not great.
She's not knocked up. That's what that is.
No, I don't think she's knocked up. I have her age on here somewhere.
Wasn't she kind of older, though? She was a little older.
She's in my age range, like where the other
she's in her
girl was like
20s.
15.
Yeah, the other girl is a teenager, and she's in her 20s.
Old maid.
I have it written down here somewhere. Yeah. So she's married, but not yet pregnant yet. And you're heading forth.
Correct.
William, of course, congratulates you on your new wife, and he says, "I only hope to join you someday."
My friend, yeah, I should be joining you. I wish you would be as bold with Giselinda as you are on the battlefield with the enemy and those that are forsaken Christ. I feel you would have, if not half a score of children by now, my friend.
You have a conversation, and it emboldens him. Let's see what he does.
This is very out of character.
He keeps hearing that Thice Queen
Hey!
screaming in English. Oh! It should be a contested roll against her chastity.
Her bitchness. Bitch ass.
Yeah.
So you're about a week into that march up along the Rhine through the dense forests, and one afternoon there's like a bald hill that kind of rises above the forest, and William leads Gislenda kind of up on a picnic, kind of up onto this area, and he tells Samson he's planning to ask for her hand in marriage up there, right? So what does Samson say?
I'm very proud of you, Sir William, as it has been far too long, and the rumors, fortunately, were quashed. Those speaking ill of her and the darkened shadows have agreed to stop it, and with this wedding, and I'm sure children to come, no one will ever be able to question her or your fertility and commitment to bringing in the next generation of your kin.
So she goes up there with him to the top of this hill, and he asks for her hand in marriage. And she, of course, says yes. And he is absolutely beaming. And the two of them are heading back down. They kind of come back down the other side of the hill. And Gislenda is tickled at this point because William has been a perfect gentleman, and she wants to tell her friends. And William and even Samson, all the way back at camp, can hear a shriek as she starts to scream. And she stops at the bottom of this hill and looks up as you see like some sort of commoner or somebody that has been hastily and crudely disemboweled and crucified in the forest. And it looks like all around him there's been a fire, and the bottom of this poor chap's feet are completely burnt. So Samson, what you see is Gislenda and William not even telling the story of their engagement, but they, William has his hand on his sword. They run into camp, saying that there's this person that's crucified in the field in the forest.
Samson, with hearing the shriek, sword drawn, kind of rushes to the area, only to see, the poor individual just not only crucified but burned while suffering through the crucifixion. He quickly orders some of his men and retinue to begin cutting down the bodies, while another group he orders to secure the area, and he himself kind of goes up to the one with the charred feet to kind of get an idea of how long this individual has been here.
So you go up there, and it smells awful. They've been there probably for a couple days. Kind of at the bottom of the man's feet, there are tears in his flesh, like wolves or other beasts have been kind of tearing at his feet, having a meal of toes. And you see kind of from that top of the hill, kind of outlined against the sky, a tall figure kind of pull up on horseback. And you hear a booming voice coming from above, almost like savage. It's in a tongue you can understand, but it seems unnaturally amplified. And it's almost as if the sun is darkened as a cloud comes across the sun. And it surely must be the work of the devil. But this unholy messenger kind of comes and says, "Lo, invaders! Murderers, rapers of women and goats! Halt your march, for you enter a wilderness that fights against you, and you are not welcome. There are spirits here, hostile to your God, the Prince of Weakness and God of impotent men. For a great warrior, Vidukine has risen, sent by the gods themselves to set right under the sun and moon and stars all you have ruined. By continuing, you forfeit your souls and condemn yourselves to the 7 hells. And he just melts back into the forest. Samson, do yourself a valorous versus calorie. Give yourself valorous. Yes, give yourself a check.
Listening to his speech, it's hard not to see the darkening of the sky, but he convinces himself it's just a mind trick, some sort of wizard's, trickery, cantrip, call it what you will. Samson kind of tries to calm the men around him. Calm yourself, men, for we are shielded by the love of God, and these 7 hells are fictitious places. Nothing to fear. Saxons can be killed by sword and spear, as I have done dozens of times before. I have killed their leaders before. We have not failed yet. I see no reason we would fail now, as long as we stay true to our faith in both God and King Charlemagne. We will be victorious. Do not let these lies poison your souls and fill it with fear.
Give me a... trying to get you guys some check marks here. Eloquence.
Oh shit, I get +6 now because of my glory range. God damn.
That's really good.
Oh, baby!
Crit.
Wow.
Yeah, even as you speak, the sound of distant pagan drums start to fill the forest. But explain to me how you buoy the hearts and minds of men and women in your army.
Do not fear the drums, for it is nothing more but fake bravado. They know that it cannot beat us on the field of battle, so they try to defeat us in the field of the mind. But as they are simple heathens, they do not know that we are strong just as of body, as of mind, and we will not be deterred by these pathetic games. We will go in there and we will smash their drums. We will set fire to their homes. They will soon learn what happens when they make a mockery of our religion and our ways. Fear not the drums. Instead, sing the songs of Christ in your heart and out loud, and let us give these poor fools that have been crucified a proper burial and Holy Communion before being put to eternal rest. And he kind of acts nonchalantly, like it's the drums mean nothing, as he, starts to try and take down the crucifix of the dead man next to him, and orders maybe a few lackeys to gather some shovels to dig a proper grave for them.
And it's the same for the next few days. You journey forth. Like at night when you make camp on the distant hills to the east, you see what look to be campfires, and from now and then there's a howling wind that comes down from those hills, and you hear the sounds of guttural voices and pagan chanting and drums that beat rhythmically in an ominous tone. And it's only the keen words of Samson that buoy the spirits of the army. And Duke Thierry at one point comes into your tent and congratulates you. Why don't you give yourself a check mark in Love Lord as well?
Alrighty.
And then we're going to move back.
As we move back, Samson, as the night ends, goes to Lady Chaelfrith. I know that if there's one thing to take your mind off these drums, and howling is another type of rhythmic noise in howling. Ha ha ha!
Ha ha ha! I go to the bathroom real quick. You guys can role play what looks like as Renier and Elena and Duke roll into Friuli. Yeah, I'll be right back.
Elena tussles her hair. Vietti spaghetti, that's what they called me when I was young. For the record, the funniest thing that can happen to William is for Giselinda to die in childbirth.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. Really hate her. Really hate her.
He's just not Renier's type of lady.
Definitely not.
She gets on her knees for the Lord only. Assuming we survive, my castle should be done.
Oh yeah, finally. How long's it been?
Like 5-6 years. Let me take a look here. I gotta write it down while he's gone. I think. Let's see here. So I need 145 livra to finish the castle.
Yeah, I'm sure you get that.
And I have pumped in 100 livra. So I got the castle's done. I got 45 livra worth of castles or walls and a gate tower to complete, but I haven't even calculated. I think at the Battle of the Alps I captured like 7 vassal knights, so, or not vassal knights, but bachelor knights, which will pay for a huge chunk of it, if not all.
All right, I'm back. So Elena and Duke Bernard and Renee are welcome into the gate of Friuli. They come under the flag of peace and are soon met by the Duke of that county, who is none other than Vietti's uncle, Rotgald. And Rothgald kind of says to Renier and the Duke, "Well met, niece. Who are these men that you have brought before me? There was rumors that you have fled the city, but I see now that those rumors are unfounded. I was forced to defend your honor, dear niece. Some called you a coward and stated that you would flee the city ere it come to fighting. I always knew that you had a spine, that you would stand up for our freedom against these northern bastards. Are these Byzantines from the south that you bring before me? I do not think so, by their garb." And Elena just looks to Renier.
Yeah, Renee looks perturbed a bit. He kind of leans to his side and kind of scoffs. And he no, actually that's good. He looks at Rotgard and says, "Calling a woman coward, eh? I think the only coward here is you. Who would talk to their niece in such a way?"
I paid her a compliment, did I not? It was the naysayers in my court who called her a snake, slithering out the west gate of Friuli under the cover of darkness. Rumors that they feared what's to come. There's rumors that King Charles' army marches forth. And if you are not of the Byzantine allies, then you are surely of his ilk. Have you come to parley, to talk terms of peace? For we will settle for nothing less than expulsions of the Franks from northern Italy. His presence in Lombard was insult enough. But the free cities of eastern Italy stand alone.
You do not seem like a foolish man. Do you think you will have this? You wish to revolt against your true king, King Charles? I think this is a poor decision by you. But if you do side with him, perhaps we have been mistaken of your allegiance, then you will gain great favor and wealth under the king. But if you continue your path, then this place will be destroyed, and we do not wish such a thing.
My path has been set before me by the holy men in Constantinople and our allies to the south. I have allied with them along with our friends in the other free cities of this region. Let me find the name of the places. It was there's two other cities, Benveneto and Spoleto, are kind of rebelling. And he says, my path has been chosen. But indeed, we still have things to discuss. I do not want this to come to bloodshed if it can be helped. Would you join me in council and perhaps a meal this evening?
He looks to Elena and then the Duke and shrugs a bit. Very well.
He nods and says that he will send a servant to summon him to the to his council, to his house or whatever when the time comes. And he leaves the Duke and Elena and yourself to each other. And Elena says, Renier, my uncle is not to be trusted. He only bides time. He seeks intelligence and to know the strength of Charlemagne's army. He cannot be trusted. Do not deal with him. I think that treachery would be the best option. And Duke Bernard kind of says the opposite. Rotgud may not have pledged his allegiance to King Charlemagne, but he also did not fight against us when we invaded Lombardy. He has been the Duke of this duchy for these many years, and though he has fallen in with an ill crowd, I do think that he will see reason. There is no way he can win against the army of Charlemagne. Elena says to Renier, kind of arguing. He does not need to win, Renier. He only needs to cause your army enough pain that he retreats to the north. For if he causes bloodshed in Friuli, he would also cause bloodshed in the other three cities.
Yeah, we need to end this quickly. We cannot fight a prolonged battle in Italy and in Francia. We have the Saxons to deal with, my Duke. We need peace where we can get it. Let me ask you, sweet Elena, does he have children? Who is his heirs?
Sweet Elena. Okay.
That's
That's
how I talk to all the ladies. 5 of them. Fuck.
Yeah, there's 5 kids. Oldest is a male. By the name of
Mario.
Usio. Useo.
How old is he?
And yep, he's 20.
Okay, that won't
He's the heir.
that won't do. He what are the defenses looking like around here? I mean, it's just us and my lineage men and retinue, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's a walled city, a small walled city.
Hmm. He looks to Elena and says, Elena, I would ask you a question. And he kind of brings her away from Bernard, if possible. And says,
Yeah.
do you know any types in the city that are that would do things for money, very dangerous things? I do not believe that outside the city we will be able to do anything to your uncle to avenge your father, or present Lord Charlemagne's dominion over this place without significant bloodshed. But if you know of any people that are already inside the city that could do our will, this might be quite helpful.
Yeah, Elena pulls you aside. Duke Bernard has gone with some of his men and is sampling a host of Italian wines, but Duke Bernard does not go overboard. He's not keeping an eye on you either, Renier, but he's kind of working on his own angle to this quandary. But Elena kind of has gone off to you into one of the alleyways, and she does say that the second son, who is 16 years old, his name is Landolfo, that he's jealous of Usio, and they do not get along. And the only reason that she did not bring him along with her is that Landolfo has said that he's going to wait until battle happens and then basically knife his brother so he can be the heir. So that's what she tells you.
I wonder if you could convince him to increase his timetable a bit, but include his father as well. I would not be opposed to doing something myself, but we must have peace after it is all done, or we will be killed by the gods.
She nods. Yeah, very well. I see your mind is very much the same as mine own, Renier Legree. From what county do you hail in Francia?
I am from Odon.
After northern Italy is reunited with Francia, I would dearly love to see that country one day. It is rumored that the lands between the Seine and the Rhine are beautiful indeed, rolling hills, lush forests, and fertile farmland.
Not as beautiful as these lands. I have come to like them very much. It is much warmer here for my aging body. He fakes like grabbing his back.
You are too modest, Renier Legree. But you can trust me. The strength of women is not in the blade, but in a honeyed tongue and a loosed bosom.
He raises his eyebrows. He's like, I see. Well, let us see what we can do with your traitorous uncle and his child.
And she nods and she gives you a little kiss on the cheek, amore, before she leaves and rushes off into the fading sunlight down an alleyway in order to make plans with Landolfo in order to betray his family and throw open the gates of Friuli.
Yeah, he To himself, he's standing there. He's nods. He's like, "You still have it, Renee. You still have it." And turns around and heads back to the camp.
All right, let's see here. What would her... I'm making her a roll. Intrigue, eh?
Yeah, that sounds right.
GM roll. I'm not going to let you know what all this is. Okay. All right, I'm going to make some tokens while we move back to... what's the name of that forest in Germany where all the bad shit always happens? Black Forest?
Black Forest, yeah.
Yeah, or along the Rhine there. The Romans get slaughtered. You guys get slaughtered. Wait, what?
Teutoburg Forest, what now?
Yeah. All right, let's see here. I'm going to move your tokens. Renee's going to have to be with you guys.
I guess.
I'll let you kind of role play. So what I want you to do, just for fodder for this, is give me a commoner's roll. Samson.
All right. Oof.
Oh, fail. Okay. So as you're heading up the Rhine, like this army of yours obviously takes up a lot of resources, and basically you just eat every village out of house and home as you like run up the Rhine, and like they're just probably going to starve, the rest of the year. But your army needs fuel to march, and you don't have much to give them except the thank you and an empty prayer offered by William and his new fiancée, Gislinda. And I want you to roleplay what that looks like as your army gets hungrier and hungrier, as the villagers start to hide food from you, and they even begin to kind of shutter their doors and windows as your army approaches up the Rhine, because over the past year and in the winter, they've just suffered over and over again at the hands of the Saxons as these raids kind of go across the Rhine and terrorize the Frankish countryside.
As they move along, a wise commander, while he brings provisions, he's smart enough to live off the land or those he's passing through. And as his, kind of standing with the commoners grows, so do the size of his retinues. And he's sporting now, including his knights and lineage men, almost 500 mouths to feed. And as they go north, he stops at residents, and at first they're willing to give a little bit of food, but that food becomes a little bit more, and perhaps some of his sergeants takes a little liberty in the size of the portions they take, or perhaps a farmer's daughter here and there. Eventually it becomes to the part where each village has heard word that they're like an all-consuming swarm of locusts or some sort of plague or crop failure, some sort of crop fungus, and soon doors are no longer opened and brought in with welcoming arms, but shut and forcefully opened to give up the bounty within. This is something that he doesn't enjoy doing, but Samson also understands that his army needs to be well fed after a long march to deal with the Saxons. So it is a sacrifice he's all too willing to make.
A few times along the march, both yourself and your new wife are hungry, and you see the soldiers just like basically getting all the bushels of grain from the commoners and just like stealing it. And multiple times, kind of children beg you for bits of bread. Give me a generous versus selfish roll, or you can just role play how you want. You're 10 out of 10, so
I'm 10. He perhaps it's his desire for children with Chaelfrith or thinking of his own children, his natural children that he's had with Susanna of the Fields. But there's a string being tugged upon his heart, and he does feel the need to give some of those kids food, perhaps out of his own supply instead of some meat rations or some sort of salted pork. He gives them some food to at least make it through the evening. My children, I know you are young and you will not understand why we must take this food, but when you are older and you are serving in your lord of knight's levy, you will understand the need of having good soldiers standing side to side with you. But for tonight, while you will not eat bread, perhaps a little bit of my own reserve, and he kind of pulls out maybe some strips of salted meat or whatever. Perhaps this will help calm a loud stomach. May God be with you, and know that this will end in time.
Oh, thank you, my lord, thank you. And as he says that and takes the crust of bread, you feel like a stiletto knife almost try to stick up under your armor, and it turns aside as you look down, and there's this emaciated old man with this dagger trying to stab you off of your horse, as like it's his grandson, and he thinks you're trying to like steal from his grandson. And so you turn around, you feel the blade bite under your ribs, and your instinct, your reckless 16. Give me a reckless.
Are these Saxons, by the way?
No, they're right on the frontier. Yeah.
Let's see. Let's find reckless. 1 second here. I am reckless. So, again, he knew the doors and shutters were being shut to his arrival, and perhaps in his haste he thinks is an assassin of some kind to take out the battle-hardened Samson, and his levies would scatter, and he turns and just kind of like gets the horse, he turns the horse away so the rear legs are facing the man, and he just kicks the horse to basically do a double back kick right into the dude's chest.
Yeah, it just caves his chest in. He falls to the ground, a blood spewing from his mouth, and he makes a few sucking respirations, and then goes still. You killed my grandpa! You killed Papa! The boy just kind of runs away. I hate you! I hate all of you!
That seems about right.
Samson maybe looks for a villager nearby, seeing what happened. As you can see, he tried to kill me. You can see the dagger laying next to him. But he is a son of Christ and deserves to be buried properly. And he kind of fishes into his pocket and throws whatever the lowest denomination of money is. And you can use a few of these to get a local priest to give him last rites and bury him in a cemetery. It is the least you can do for him.
They drag him away, just look at you with his sneering eyes, like, you fucker.
Yeah,
They're not going to talk any shit to some other dude that's on a horse with a sword.
Yeah, Samson doesn't pay much more mind to it, realizing that the fool never should have done what he did, and the fact that he even paid for a commoner's burial after what happened was more than enough in his eyes.
And that's when from up the road, you see a half dozen scouts return, and they're kicking up dust in the spring sun, and the sun is setting into the west, and they kind of come to a halt, screech before you. Sir Samson, we have tidings from the north.
Ah, what have you discovered? Please speak.
The way is barred. There is a war party, Saxons on the march. As of last night, not fewer than 100 campfires. No tents to be seen, but we hear shouts, screams in the nights. I fear we'll be attacked shortly. You must make preparations for battle, Sir Samson.
Do you think they plan to attack us at night or meet us in the open field of battle?
I know these savages. If I had to venture a guess, they would not face us in open battle. Though they know this land greater than ours, our number is many more than theirs. But they're kind of like talking amongst each other. They look at you. Give me a folklore.
Ugh.
No. So they say like it's not going to be a problem. They're not armored at all. They're big giant dudes. They're painting themselves. They have braided hair, dreadlocks and shit. They're berserkers, but you don't know their culture maybe. So you think, it's not going to be a big problem.
Now, based on the kind of terrain and stuff, would it be more advantageous to maybe use this village as a defensive area and kind of set up like a perimeter in anticipation of attack? Or does it terrain? Yes? Okay.
Yeah. Give me battle too, just you want another check.
Well, I'd like to think I'm going to pass this one.
Give her a check in battle. So only that can still go over 20 if you roll a 20 on your
Yes, correct.
Yeah, give yourself a check. Yeah, that's probably the best kind of defensive position you're going to find is like around the village and to make camp there and stuff.
While you men may think it is a good idea to go after them, as you said, they know the terrain. So we need to take the advantage away from them by using this village as a defensive stronghold. We can put the men to work to creating a defensive fortification and wait for them to attack. We will be ready, and they will not have the terrain and the darkness to their advantage. We will know they are coming and be prepared to meet them head on.
All right. Why don't you have your give me a siege from your and I'll give you a check and your homie a check. If your homie makes the siege correctly, I'll give you a check in siege as well.
All right. It is 15. So let's roll it. 6. He succeeded. So I'll check it.
So in the coming thing, I'm just going to give you a +2.
+2. Let me mark that down. So basically, with that said, kind of uses maybe, I don't know the village exactly. Maybe there's a church or whatever is the sturdiest building will kind of be like the command center and where he'll keep his wife, Chaelfrith, safe. He consults with his engineer, Harold of Arlone, and kind of begins fortifying the town, guessing the highest probability of, attack, strongest points to defend, places at night need a double guard or something extra, and encouraging the villagers to stay inside for the evening, further issuing that no villager may leave the perimeter of the town until further notice.
And the sun starts to set, and Chaelfrith comes to you, and she's made like a English cooking stew. It's just bland. Let me see how good it is. What would that be, do you think?
Hunting.
Hunting. Yeah, that's fine. Courtesy. Whatever. Here we go. Let's do the 2d20 thing. See if it's good or not. Yeah, it's good. No. First is the skill. Her cooking is 6. She sucks. She rolled 13. It tastes awful. It's awful.
Chaelfrith understands that ladies, nobles, cooking is beneath them. And he finds it cute that she tries to make a homemade meat for him homemade meal for him, and he does his best to fake that he enjoys it. He kind of takes a bite and this, oh my lovely wife, is there no skill you do not have a mastery of? This is quite delicious, and there's nothing quite as good as facing the enemy on a full stomach after a good hearty meal. Thank you, Lady Cheofrith. It is much appreciated. I don't know if I need to roll a courtly skill for that to lie my ass off about this dog shit I'm eating.
Yeah, intrigue. Intrigue or romance, because, love.
We're going to intrigue as I'm lying.
Got it. So tell me what it looks like as the sun sets and you and Ceolfrith are in front of a fire, eating her bland food.
Eating her what?
Bland food that she made you.
So as he sits...
Ooh, eating her muffin?
Yes. He talks of, acts as if there's no danger. He talks of years to come and plans to make and, jewelry and fine clothing that he will buy her once they return to Francia with the spoils of this war. And the beauty of the castle that is being built in Western Arlone. And he basically ends the night. As much as he knows what he would like to do, he knows he can't get distracted with temptation of the flesh, and eventually, kisses her goodnight before sending her into the, maybe one of the higher up rooms if there's a second story of the chapel, and then setting an armed guard before going out in his armor, preparing the men for the fight to come.
Ceolfrith kind of looks around and smiles, and she kind of looks out the window of like the building you're in, and she sees that little boy kind of eating the piece of muffin, and their two eyes meet, and the boy kind of looks at you that you killed your grandpa, and he just runs away. And she says, "You must be careful not to make enemies on this journey, my lord."
I will do my best. I know it is not something I want to do, but it is something I need to do for the well-being of my men. Once this war is over and I have sacked the Saxon lands, I will return here with great riches and bestow food and repay all of these commoners in kind for what they have had to tolerate in this campaign. It is sage advice of you, Lady Ceolfrith, and I appreciate it greatly.
And she gives you a romantic kiss as the scene fades and the light fades and the sun sinks down behind the lush forest. And as we close the scene, give me an awareness check.
Alrighty. Oof.
You drain the rest of your stew and start to make out your wife, and as you do that, you didn't notice it. The camera pans over, and like there's a few in the bottom of the bowl. Like the camera pans that kid's laughing, and you start to hear William crying for some reason. It's like, it doesn't make any sense. But the camera pounds, and there's like little bits of mushrooms in the bottom of the stew. And then we will go back to Italy. As we go back to Italy, we have, let's see here, Renee.
Where am I? There we go.
There we go. I'm going to put you guys into the council here. Forgot to make my tokens, didn't I? Oh, doesn't matter too much. Why don't you give me... I want you to get some check marks too, Renee. So why don't you put a check mark in intrigue?
Just do it.
I don't think you need to make a roll. Yeah.
Okay.
Is there anything else you want to do before kind of heading to dinner that night?
Well, he does want to bring like some of it, like at least a couple of his household knights with him as like bodyguards, just to make sure that they're not going to try to like red wedding them in the dining room. He wants to be the one doing the red wedding, not other people. So he would bring a couple of guys that he could get away with bringing.
Mm-hmm. Give me love, family. Certainly, most are going to come, and I want to see like if there's going to be how prepared and motivated they're going to be. But give me a love, family. Got it. So not all of them come, and they follow directions exactly. I mean, they'll go cloak and dagger. They'll be outside the door. What would you like them to do?
Well, I want them to protect the hallway into this place, and I want a couple in here at the very least. Basically, all the choke points in the that we can get away with surveilling and hopefully controlling if something goes down to the outside courtyard at the very least. And then at least a couple of them hanging around the gate so it can be opened or closed.
Mm-hmm. At one point, one of the guards of the castle kind of gives a little pushback to you and your men, and he approaches you. Renier Legris, yes, you are a guest here, but your men, there are so many of them. If war was not soon upon us, we would show you the utmost of courtesy. But alas, it is for the Duke's safety that only at the most 4 men be present.
My dear man, do we not share the same God? These men simply wish a respite from the road, my friend. I will pray with you and vow to God that we would never do anything untoward. May he strike me down.
Give me a either courtesy or love God.
Do you want me to fail the
And
love
remember,
God? Because I'm lying.
You can do an intrigue instead then if you would like.
Oh boy. I do get +5.
Your courtesy would be pretty good then.
Courtesy or intrigue? Yeah, my courtesy would be good. Do you want me to do a courtesy roll?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Courtesy +5.
Yes, of course. Please pardon me, my lord. You surely would start no violence here within our city walls. Are we not?
Children of
Are we
God.
not both knights? Children of God, indeed. I do hope this impasse can be solved without shedding blood. We have had rumors of the siege of Pavia, men and women eating rats and dogs. Ghastly stuff.
Yes.
I think you will find that Rotgud is a reasonable man.
I am pleased to hear it. I wish no bloodshed from our armies coming to this place. That is why my king has sent me to resolve this without the death of these many innocents and soldiers who only follow the will of their lords, their dukes, and their kings. We are simple men, simple knights, are we not?
Indeed we are. Indeed we are.
Let us hope the actions here today will bring peace. Remember this, my friend. He kind of puts the hand on his shoulder and nods and yeah.
Lucio and Landolfo, right? All right. So he certainly allows all your men in. He allows them wherever you want them, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where I want them, where I was saying earlier, so.
Download. Download. Make a few guys. Landolfo.
My boy Landolfo.
There's Landolfo. What's the heir's name? Usio? E-U-S-E-O. Now he looks shady. There we go. And so as the night fades, music is playing. Let me get some courtly music here. So basically, it's a large dining room in the keep of the castle there at Friuli. Duke Rotgud Vietti is there with two of his older sons, Usio and Landolfo. In between them is sitting Elena Vietti, and they greet you, and your men are outside and whatever. And the first few courses of the meal pass without any incident before you get down to talking business. Pleasantries are made, and give me what courtly skills would you like to try to kind of
Courtesy?
improve
Courtesy?
there?
I would do courtesy. I get a +5 on this one too.
Did you already got a check mark in
That
courtesy,
was
right?
intrigue. Right. Oh
Okay.
no, it was courtesy, you're right.
It was courtesy.
God, I pretty much suck at everything else. Romance?
Sure.
Renee is
If you want to further your relationship with Elena Vietti.
Well, of course I do. That's what she's here for, right? Renee is kind of sitting on the opposite side of the table next to a couple of his men, and he says to Rudgod, he says, your niece, my lord, she has been quite pleasant and very helpful in arranging this parley, this meeting, so that we can come to an understanding between King Charles and yourself. She is wise and, of course, very beautiful.
Yeah, she is. She is wise and as intelligent as she is pretty, I dare say. She speaks with a silver tongue. It's just most unfortunate what happened to her father. Waylaid by brigands in an alley at night. Unfortunately, her father was taken with drink. It made ill decisions all too often. Yet he looks to Rotgud, and Elena shoots him a stare that could just as well be daggers.
Can I tell if he's like is he lying or
your awareness?
very good at that. Oh,
Awareness. Yep.
okay.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. Yeah, you can tell he's
Yeah.
lying.
Renee says, I see. I, I did see a letter that was quite threatening, I do believe, from you to your brother. I have men that I consider my brothers. They're thicker than blood. And I could never, in any instance, even if my king told me to strike them down, could I do it. I would rather take my own life or have the headman take my head. I cannot imagine what I would do if I really killed my brother. How much of a despicable human being I would be, or anybody who would kill someone that they shared the same mother or father with. Don't you agree?
Rothgood kind of looks at you and looks to Elena as well, and he puts down his fork, and he bites a tomato, and it spurts out of his mouth like beneath her.
Yeah.
He takes a chicken wing and throws it on his plate. You speak out of both sides of your mouth, Renier Legree. Does Duke Bernard, who surely is in one of the drinking holes in this city, does he share your opinion? I have no idea what letter you are speaking of. And he looks to Elena, obviously upset.
Duke Bernard is not my duke. I do not know where he is.
Well, then your duke should keep a shorter leash on you, Renier Legree. You speak recklessly in the home of one who has treated you so kindly.
Have you treated your brother or your niece kindly? Or your king kindly? Because your king is King Charles, King Charlemagne of the Franks.
He is not my king! Friuli needs no king. Northern Italy was under the yoke of the Lombards, and now we are free. We will not bend the knee to some upstart from the north. Ha! King of the Lombards, Rex Franconia. Such things are words that mean nothing to me. And my niece is beautiful, but I spoke too rashly. Perhaps she is not as clever as I once thought. If she would enlist the help of one such as yourself.
She did not enlist my help. I offered to give it freely. It is I do this for my king first and Lady Elena second. And perhaps third, for my own satisfaction. And he's actually going to get up and try to grab the knife that Rodgard is eating with.
Oh!
And he's gonna try to fucking stab him in the throat.
No!
Hey now.
Let's see. I just, I think that's your sword versus his awareness.
I have a dagger, so I'd rather use dagger if that's
fine.
That's okay.
That's fine.
Okay. I don't think prane's probably. Come on. Okay. At least I succeeded.
Succeed. You were, what, 11 away, and he is 8 away.
Yeah.
So, partial success. So you grab... You tell me what it looks like as you grab it.
He just comes over,
his
like,
wrist,
he
right?
doesn't have
Yeah.
any armor or anything on right now. He just
No.
reaches and grabs it out of his plate and yanks it and comes, like, with a backhand towards his throat.
Yep. He stops you. And as this is happening, Landolfo kind of has, gotten out of his seat and walked up behind Usio. And he himself has his own dagger. Like, as this happens, he brings it out and he goes to stab Usio right in the back. And a guard comes from behind Landolfo and just slits Landolfo's throat. And he slumps over the table. Blood just spills across the table. Elena jumps up screams, and that same guard takes his knife and puts it to Elena's throat. And Rutgud has your arm, right? And Usio has his sword out now. It's like a rapier.
Mm-hmm. Do I have
like
are my dudes with me as I?
Yeah, they're probably all like arming up, right?
Yeah, they would be.
And Usio kind of says, Elena is as loud-mouthed as she is beautiful. Do you not think that we would not catch on to your scheming little plan here? Rene Legree will send your head back to your king on one of these platters. Men, kill him!
Yeah, Renee is just going to try to continue to kill everybody around him.
So, fight starts happening. Your guys come in.
I'm going to impassion myself here. I think I have to.
Yeah, the guards are coming in.
Yeah, my dudes are trying to.
Has a dagger in his
So
belt.
my guys would try to bar the door for certain.
Yeah.
I'll try to impassion myself.
Romance, amore, Elena.
No, love Charlemagne. I'm doing this for Charlemagne, obviously. Yeah, +10.
Correct. Is that a miracle?
I impassion.
Oh, that's a
not
prayer, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's still +10, yo.
Yep.
All right. Let me roll some stuff here. Okay. All right.
So she failed her GM rolls, I assume.
Yep, she did. They caught on to her. And what was his daggers? What, 12? All right, and then I need to do a NPC generator. I'm glad I made all these NPC generator macros. Boom. One thing, I get stats. All right, cool. All right, so your guys and the two, nobody's armored here, I'm guessing.
I would not assume so, no.
Yep, nobody's armor. So, but Rutgard and Usio both charge you. But the guard has Elena still at knife point. He obviously thinks that it's going to stop you having her. Does it give you any pause at all?
It probably does, but he's there for King Charles first, unfortunately.
All right, give yourself a check in Charles. Love Charlemagne. I think you already probably did that.
I did not, but
And
do I? If I crit, do you just get an automatic +1 or no? Is that not how that works?
+10, I think.
No. I mean on the skill itself. Like, would I go to 17 or is it just a check mark? Do you know?
I think it's just a check.
Okay.
No, just give yourself
No,
a
that's fine.
+1.
I was just curious. I couldn't remember.
Because we don't have as many
Sure.
chances to get check marks. I'm being very
Yeah,
generous.
that's fine.
So also roll Valorous. Actually, just give yourself a check mark in Valorous because that's what you're doing.
Okay.
You don't need to roll.
All right, so okay. Oh, a check mark. Sorry. Yeah.
Yep.
Got it.
And we're going back to
Should I get a reckless one too? Probably check mark.
yeah.
And
Go
deceitful as
for it.
well. I mean, I'm just kind of.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
I'll always say yes because it's just you two, and we're having just a little role play in between winter sessions. So we're going back to the Black Forest.
Good thing I'm decent with a knife.
All right, you guys should be able to see that. Night falls, and you are starting to prepare for battle, Samson, when you hear, like I said, you hear William just crying from next door, and you hear like all of your men start to just, some of them are laughing maniacally, some of them are crying, some of them are screaming at the top of their lungs, and you look outside, and one of them has stripped naked and is just running around underneath the moonlight. Oh my God! They're devils! They're devils! They're devils! And suddenly you see vines start to grow out of the walls of this hut that you're in. And you look over to your wife, Ceolfrith, who is asleep on a straw bed beside you. And her face seems contorted into some sort of devil. You look down below, her night clothes seem to be soaked in blood, and she opens her eyes, and her eyes are just red and demonic, and she looks at you, and she says, "Run, Samson, you will not live through the night." You're obviously hallucinating.
Oh, what is this madness? He kind of like looks at his hands and sees trails and looks around, and there's some sort of witchcraft or poison, I do not know, but I need to focus. I do not know what to do. He kind of like goes down into the courtyard to look for anyone not affected by what's going on.
There's not many people at all not affected. You do your best to kind of focus your mind and see through the hallucinations, but as you look up into the sky, there are wisps of clouds riding across the full moon, and it's almost as if you see things flying in the sky, spirits, ghosts, whatnot. At one point you see what looks to be a streak of fire across the sky, followed by a great roar of a dragon. And you see what looks to be a wyvern or a dragon mounted on a woman that's flying across the sky alongside a yellow sun that's kind of rising opposite of the moon, and you hear the cry of an eagle. You just start to hallucinate. You see this blood soaking all over Europe, and then suddenly your mind is on fire as you hear the sound of men screaming in pain, and you look across the river, and you see hundreds and hundreds of naked barbarians just streaming across the river, heading in your direction.
Samson, doing his best to keep his shit together, kind of hollers to his men that are all freaking out. They come! The monsters are coming for us, and they are naked! Kill them all!
You see William, actually, he just has on basically his underclothes, and he has his sword out, and he's out in the courtyard. Samson! Samson! Where are you? The demons are here! The demons are here! They're on me! There's so many birds! There's so many birds!
He kind of runs over. Samson! Or excuse me. William!
Samson's
You
right.
need to get on your armor. Yeah, he's talking to himself. You need to get on your armor. The enemy comes. We must fight off this evil. Hurry.
He runs towards you. He runs towards you. There's one of them! And he has his sword raised.
William, it is I, Samson. No.
He's going to attack you.
I will block it. Full
He
defense.
swings his sword, and you clanks it, blocks it. He says, Samson, here's another one. A devil from across the Rhine. They do not love God. They do not love themselves. Come hither. Join me in battle, Samson.
William, get yourself together. Look, the enemy is there. And he kind of points with his sword while kind of maintaining his shield, at a high position in case he swings again. No, there. They are there, the demons. You must send them to hell where they belong.
He turns around and he looks at you. Let's see. And he sees it is you. And he lowers his sword. Samson! For the love of God! What have I done? Are you injured? Have I hurt you? My friend.
It is okay, Sir William. Something has fallen upon us, some sort of vex, or I do not know what it is, but it is controlling our minds, making us see things. I see them now. And he kind of like looks behind him and things kind of like melt and reform. But the enemy, they approach. Look, and he kind of points into the distance. You must prepare yourself. Hurry before it is too late.
William kind of turns and like with you like on his right side, he raises his sword and grits his teeth. And you can see just like a horde of blue painted Saxons just running out of the forest with battle axes and swords and hatchets. And some of them have shields. And some of them have nothing at all. Just cock and balls flopping around. They splash across the Rhine into the reeds and they just fall upon you. And you hear this and a hatchet flies through the air and lands square in the middle of William's head, splits it open as Williams falls to the ground, his blood all over you, Samson.
No! Gives out a big Darth Vader. No! And he kind of like turns to the person that threw the axe. You will all pay for this. You will die. For Frankia.
Berserker. Let's find one. A giant blue painted figure looms before you. NPCs. It's not allies, adversaries. Saxons. All right. So looming up before you, Samson, is a giant man with a big, giant, notched, two-handed sword. It's not the person who threw the hatchet, but he's coming right at you. What do you do?
I will obviously impassion myself with my hatred of Saxons and take on this foul beast. 2 arms, and he continues to holler, 2 arms, repel them!
Make it so.
Alright, let's find that. So I did get that at least. And you said I get
so
+2 from the siege roll?
Yep.
Alrighty.
Yes, you do. So that's what, +7?
+7, then +1 from a sword.
Let me find... Battle enemy. Saxons. Ooh, sword 30, 66. All right.
All right, let's throw in the modifier there. God damn it.
You dropped it, man? You're fucking high as a kite.
Yeah, is that a fumble?
Yeah, that's a fumble.
One second here.
It's a hit.
For some reason I felt Frankie's swords didn't fumble, but I doubt that very much.
Why is this not?
Matt, whatever, I ain't gonna look it up. So is it a
All right.
partial success? Since I
That's a
have...
partial success. Yep. You have your stuff, I'm going to guess. Because you're getting ready. No, it's a full success because you fumbled, actually. So no sword. Damage 9.
Luckily, no damage taken because I have the reinforced chain.
He's supposed to be 5d6, I'm sorry.
Just add one more.
There we go. Five, so 14.
2 damage.
And he and you're fighting like in the puddle of William's blood. All around you, the same thing is happening. You even see Duke Thierry out of his tent. He has his greaves on, but he's just like has no top armor on, no shield. He's struck down already a couple guys that lay at his feet, but he's just being swarmed. All right, what are you doing?
So I have to spend the round picking it up, or do I get to what? I'm not quite sure what happens on a fumble. To be honest, it's been so long.
You can pick it up, but I do not think you can attack. I think you could do like a defensive stance.
Well, there's the sticky wicket, because I basically will never be able to pick up my sword. Otherwise, they'll get a free shot on me and kill me. Think here.
Let me see here.
I'm taking a look right now myself.
Getting to your feet. It's probably going to be in the same area. Loser's phase. Fumble means one, two things. Dropped his weapon if it was a sword.
Which it was.
Yep. Winner's phase, combined actions, evasion. So what I would just allow you as your movement phase to pick it up. I'm trying to find.
Yeah, like the only thing I see here is like in the resolution phase is getting my squire to help get a new weapon, or I would assume pick one up and hand it to me.
Yeah. In this situation, I wouldn't say he was even around, though.
Yeah, probably not.
So what I would say you could do, you couldn't attack, but you could pick it up and go to that defensive stance, which is an opposed check. But then even if you win, you do no damage to him.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, you do that?
Yeah, we'll do the defensive. Basically, he goes on the defensive as he kind of goes to one knee to try and pick up his sword.
I think that might give you a plus like 20.
It's plus 10. Let me reopen that. I think full defense is plus 10. And you
Yeah, but you already have a plus 10.
I have plus 8.
Oh, yeah. You're impassioned? I thought you critted.
No.
Didn't you crit your impassion? Who created
Nope.
their impassion?
Nope, not me. Right now I rolled a 2
I
against
did.
a 19.
I critted. Sorry, I was muted.
Okay. That's you. That's you. Never mind. Okay. Yeah. All right. So you would be plus 18, right?
Yes.
All right. Go for it.
Well, at least that's a crit. That's a crit too. What happens?
2 crits. Who's closer?
Me.
So that would
20?
be nothing then.
All right. As the two kind of jostle back and forth, he goes to deliver a deadly two-handed blow, but he brings up the shield just enough to deflect it, neither gaining the upper hand. And now with his sword back in hand, he stands back up and goes back on the offensive. So back down to plus 8. Not a crit.
Not a crit.
Wait a second. I didn't...
So plus what's your sword skill? 17 plus 8 is 25.
Yeah, you're right. For some reason, I thought the
right.
sword got bumped up to 18, but I don't think it did. I think it went from 16 to 17.
All right. Oh!
Whew,
Oh man.
lucky.
He has no armor. No, you critted, right?
Nope, that was not a crit, unfortunately. I was 1 away from a crit. I needed a 15 or higher, so just normal damage. So 23.
That kills him.
Ugh. As he brings down, like, even though he's tripping balls, and like sometimes the guy has horns and then they morph into wings and then there's a rainbow behind his head, there is one thing that has grounded him in reality, and that's the two-handed sword. He's swinging violently at him, and Samson takes a step back as he does like a big double hand chop, and he finds nothing but air, and the sword's in the ground just long enough for Samson to swing his sword across the berserker's chest, just splitting it wide open as there's no armor or shield to slow it down, and he just falls backwards, his own blood pooling with that of William's.
As you look down, the adrenaline of the battle, you start to kind of become sober for a little bit. You see William's split head underneath you. What do you think and feel about that?
A rage kind of courses through his body because they had to, use underhanded tactics, he assumes, to try and win the night. Perhaps this is what they had been doing all along, causing some sort of vile poison or something to make the villagers unaware, making them easy foes. He vows to avenge Samson, or God, I keep saying it, William, as he had just finally drawn up the courage to marry Giselinda. That courage had not carried himself through the battlefield, and he had fallen to one of the more cowardly things, a ranged weapon, and he goes charging, looking for another foe, and to try and organize some sort of defense so they're not overrun.
As the scene fades, give me a battle roll.
Not a crit again.
Not a crit, but that's good enough. And I want you to give yourself a check in Vengeful.
Yep.
As you run off. And tell me what it looks like as you just run into the battle and like... so in the book, let me see what it mentions this miracle that happens here. Setting the future. Where are we? 77.6.
What is this, the battle?
They saw the likeness.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was just they saw the likeness of 2 shields, red in color and flaming and moving to and fro over the church Struck by great terror, the Saxons begin to flee. So there's like a church that everybody, you guys are all beat back into. But with your battle roll, I'll let you describe how you muster them, make your last stand, and you just like start to slaughter people, Samson. And then as more and more Saxons come out of the forest, you guys are all still hallucinating. But you look up in the sky and you see this like a red shield appear over the church, almost like a dome over the village. And it seems to you, as the Saxons look up, there's like a flaming cross in the shield, and they fly back across the Rhine.
As the battle progresses, Samson gives into his bloodlust and his hatred, not only of the Saxons, but to lose such a long time and dear friend. And no matter what the foe looks like, be them horned goat or beast or human with multicolored eyes and hair, he strikes them all down, despite still under the effects of the hallucinogen. He uses it to his advantage, just kind of almost giving into it and tearing apart anything. But despite the ferocity, he slowly beat back along with his men to the church. And perhaps it's a moment of lucidity, realizing that his wife is up on the second story. He kind of organizes what defenders that have regained some sense of, their senses, and the press of Saxon bodies into a choke point of the main door actually works to their benefit as they almost enter a fatal funnel of spear thrusts and sword strikes by the dwindling defense. And despite being outnumbered, the Saxons make no attempt to destroy the church and just try and barge in, and are cut down. And at one moment, as he kind of makes his way to the front door fighting, he sees this symbol blazing through the sky, a red shield much similar to the red of his own livery, and a flaming cross almost like enveloped the church in a protective ward, as if God himself had chosen the Frankish knights to be worthy of his protection. And as the Saxons look up, they see this sign, and being the superstitious heathens they are, they begin to flee. And as they begin to flee, Samson has no compunction on striking the back of an enemy as they fall face first in the mud and flee. And despite the heavy cost in both men and friends, the day had been won.
And we're back to Italy. As you witness this miracle, I'm giving you a check in love God. Rockgut and Usio are both lunging towards you, Renee, you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Rockgut with his dagger, Usio with his sword.
Yeah, Renee is gonna... He tries to stab Rodgud. He has a knife on his belt as well, and he kind of pulls that up, and just for roleplay purposes, not like I'm doing two hands. And he stabs at the man. Can you hear me? Oh shit, am I muted?
Yep.
Nope,
Okay.
you're
Nope.
good.
Okay.
Harry.
So I'm gonna do combat skills, dagger plus 10. That's a crit.
Oh, you're taking on both of them. Usio's attacking you
Yeah.
too. Let's see here. It's better. Oh, okay.
So damage, right?
Yep.
It's just.
You get to pick which one you
Rock
hit.
God.
I'm
Rock
guessing you're
God
going to
is
want to
what I'm
hit.
going
Yeah.
for.
Yep.
17.
You critted though,
Yes,
right?
I did. Oh yeah. So 5d6. Yeah,
How-
30.
Yeah. Yeah,
How
it
did
kills
you
him.
crit?
How did I crit? I rolled an 8 and got a
Mhm.
23. Right? No, no.
Well,
No, that
that'd
would
be
Oh,
a
yes, I'm
17 or
sorry, I
higher
did
would be
not
a crit.
crit.
Sorry.
because your skill was what,
Yeah,
13?
that's 13.
So 23.
Yeah.
So that would be a 17 damage then.
That's probably a major wound.
23 minus 17. Hang on a second. I think that's enough that he passes out. Yep. Yeah, he looks like as he falls
Yeah, so he
unconscious.
kind of backhanded with the other one, and he kind of caught it with his forearm, and then Legree pulled out the other dagger from his waist as kind of their arms are locked, and he just stabs him in the stomach with his left hand, and then just kind of pushes the body away, and then turns to Ursio with 2 daggers.
You get, let's see here, you get a little bit of, I think you get a little bit of damage from him. A 5.
Alright. That doesn't do anything, I don't think. 3, 4. Oh, yeah. It does, actually. Okay.
And
And then I'll...
round 2, let me see what he's going to do here. Nope, fail. Love Lord, fail. He starts to backpedal. He holds up his sword. You've killed my father! I have no further quarrel with you. I am now the heir and lord of Friuli.
Yeah, he says, Tell
He kinda holds
tell
his
your
arms
guard
up.
to drop his knife from Elena's throat.
Drop your guard! Drop your knife, guard! My lord. My lord. I dropped the knife from the throat of this here lady. And Renier Legree will skewer you. There is no honor. He has no
I
honor.
will skewer him
This is the
anyway
only
if
call
you do
we have.
not.
Do it! Do it, guard! And he lowers the knife and, like, you know, they do in the movies, pushes her towards you into your arms. Ah! And she stumbles and gives you a big hug.
Kind of turns and looks to Ucio and Landolfo's dead body on the ground, and he says, Then you agree to serve King Charlemagne, as your father would not? If so, we can
Yes.
put this matter to bed.
I agree to serve. The city is yours. Please, just let me escape with my skin. I am not my father's. He has bullied his entire family into fighting against the Frankish king. We know we cannot win. Give me an awareness.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Plus 10. This is plus.
Yep.
Yeah, so I would get it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's lying.
Yes, of course. Well, men, kill him.
No! Just tell me what it looks like as they just fall upon
Yeah,
him.
they
like
come. They
Julius
come
Caesar
through.
style.
The guard steps forward and tries to like block the path of him, and one of his lineage men just their swords ring out against each other, and the other man stabs that guy in the hip, and he falls down, and they kind of surround Ucio and just stab him to death, Caesar style.
Yeah, Bernard storms in at this point. His sword is all bloody. And you've heard, like, fighting out in the hallways, too, right? And he comes in. You agree! Are you injured?
But a scratch. They tried to kill me. And my men.
Treacherous rats.
It was a good thing I...
And Elena kind of looks over to...
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, she goes, Indeed! My uncle! He lured brave Legree in here, trying to set a trap. But Sir Renier is too wise for that.
Yes. It is a good thing I had my men come into the walls. I assumed he would try to kill us. And he looks around and looks at the scrape on his, probably on his leg or something, and just kind of like gives an exaggerated limp, and tucks his knives into his, or the one knife into his sheath, and leaves like the carving knife that guard was using, just like drops it on the table.
So Elena is not very popular with the commoners, it seems. She's a little bit of a princess. So she says to you that, we need to pacify the city. She can't be the one to do it because there are these rumors flying out about her that she fled.
Yeah, Renee is like, Duke, this is your realm of expertise. I will assist in however you wish me to do it.
Yeah. So
he kind of just sends the Duke out to like pacify the town as he sits here. No, he would go out and help doing whatever he needed to do, but
yeah, I'll let you kind of roleplay the Duke actually. So like you go out, like all the fighting is over in the hallways, and there's like a balcony from the castle overlooking the courtyard and where the rest of the town is. And Duke Bernard kind of raises his sword, and what does he say?
What is this place called again? Friuli?
It's called. I was saying it all session, but I forget now. It is called Friuli. Friuli.
People of Friuli, I am Duke Bernard of Brabant. We are servants of King Charlemagne, and your lord has tried to kill us during peace and a parley. We have only defended ourselves here today, and King Charlemagne wishes peace and prosperity for all his subjects, including those in Friuli. And we wish you to be calm, go home, be at peace. And he doesn't say much after that, except sending out the men to kind of like clear the streets and make sure there's no violence. Man, Legree might try to track down the kids and get rid of them all, though. Knowing that
Over the course of the next few days. Yeah.
Yeah, he might he just has his lineage men just kind of abscond them away from the town, and maybe he gives them to a orphanage if they're young enough to not know who they would be, right?
Mm-hmm. Give yourself a check in, I don't know, what it would be, vengeful or cruel. Or whatever.
Cruel, I would say that's cruel, yeah. And then he, days passed, and he goes to Elena and goes, my lady, I believe this town belongs to you now as the heir to your uncle. Your cousins could not be found.
And she looks at you with those doting blue eyes, combined with that dark hair, makes for quite a striking presence. Elena looks up at you and says, very well. I suppose I shall become as good a steward of Friuli as I am able. But rumor is that your king will soon march north. Will you not go with him, or will you stay with me?
He considers it. My lady, I must obey my king if he calls, but perhaps he has thoughts for me to be a servant in the south for him. I do not know. He's kind of waxing back and forth. He doesn't know what he wants to do.
I mean, he needs somebody to stay. If you would want to do that in character, he would certainly allow that as he marches forth to join his army with Samson and Duke Tyrese.
Do I need to decide now?
No, you don't need to decide
let
now.
me think about that. He just says, well, the army does not leave for a few days yet. There is time for us to relax and enjoy some of your Italian wine.
And we'll end it there tonight, I think.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it was fun to be back. William is gone.